Hello and welcome to our iBloom Health webinar. Tonight, my goal is really to help you take control of your health, to really take control of your life. And I will say that has not always been the case for me. In fact, it took a pretty big wake-up call in my life of struggling with multiple autoimmune disorders for me to really realize that I had to prioritize myself. And for a long time, that felt kind of selfish. I felt like as a mom, as a wife, as a business owner, I was supposed to put other people before myself. And I knew logically, like in my head, that wasn't right. But yet through my actions and the way my calendar lined up, by the time I served everyone else, there wasn't very much time for me. And so over the last couple of years, I've had a pretty big wake-up call of realizing that it is impossible to be successful in business for the long term without investing in ourselves. And so many of you know me as a business coach. I've helped lots of you grow and scale your business over the years. And so I know some are like, why is she doing this health stuff? And it really comes from my own journey, my own wake-up call. And really the journey that my entire team has been on over the last couple of years of taking control of our health. And so we're going to walk you through some pieces tonight to help you start to take control of your health. And you knew when you signed up that we would be introducing our 30-day iBloom Health Challenge. And so I'll tell you about that toward the end of the evening and give you an opportunity to join us by taking one step at a time to take control of your health. All right, I told you, my name is Kelly. I'm iBloom's founder. This is my adorable family. My husband, John, we've been married almost 7 years. I think that's right. 7, yeah, I think. My daughter, Sophie, she's getting ready to turn 6. And my son, Ben, who all of my kiddos are major miracles. But their pregnancies took major tolls on my body. In fact, I had a daughter in between Sophie and Ben, and I should have never gotten pregnant with Ben, but God clearly had a different plan. And so when I got pregnant with Ben, I didn't have enough blood in my body to sustain myself, let alone another pregnancy. And so for the majority of his pregnancy, I had iron infusions regularly. I had iron infusions almost daily, every other day for the majority of the pregnancy. And throughout that time, it just took a massive toll on my body. And he's now 2, but it's really taken me the last 2 years to get my health back, to really start to see significant changes and improvements in my health and the way I'm caring for my body. And so tonight, I'm going to share with you my journey of what I've done to take control. And I'm going to help you take control. Now, your scenario might be very different than mine. And if it is, that's totally fine. But what I would do is when I would try to take control of my health for a long time, I would try to do this big overhaul of my life. Anybody relate to that? You decide that you've got to make some changes. And so you start doing your eating and your exercise and making every big change that you possibly can. Don said all or nothing. And that was me year after year after year. And let me tell you, it doesn't work. It might work for the first month. It might work for the first couple months. But then, at least for me, I would fall off the wagon and never have the energy to get back on. And I did that year after year after year until something changed. And I'm going to show you what that change was, and more importantly, how you can implement it in your life. And the good news is, it's easier than you think it is. So is anybody excited about discovering this thing that could change it all? Yeah. Change is coming. All right, awesome. Okay, so let me walk you through a couple of things. So the first thing is I asked you when you signed up for this webinar to email me back because I really wanted to see your responses. I wanted to know a word or a phrase that best describes your health currently. So tell me there in the chat. And then I went through, I said, the person who, if you respond, you'll be in a drawing for a prize. I chose a winner earlier today, and I said that you would receive my favorite multivitamin. So as many of you know, I have a thyroid condition called Hashimoto's. And I have been dealing with Hashimoto's since Ben was born, so 2 years ago. And it has taken a massive toll on my body. Just from gaining weight to feeling exhausted to freezing all the time, just lots of things that it really impacted my health. And so this multivitamin actually allowed me to go off of 10 other supplements. It was 9 supplements, and then I just went off another one. And so I absolutely love it. I'll tell you more about it. But I chose a winner, Kelly Putnam. You responded to my email along with lots of other amazing people. And Kelly, you are going to receive a bottle of my favorite probiotic. It's called X Factor Plus. So I will send that to you. If you'll get us your mailing address, that would be awesome. All right, so one word I asked you guys to say here. So we've got tired, lifeless, poor, fat, passive aggressive. Yeah, I can relate to that. Ignored, getting healthier every day, but have a ways to go. And that's Carlene, who's been participating in our health challenges the past couple of months. Stagnant, good, improving slowly, thanks to my doctor. Awesome, Patty. Wanting, unhealthy. All right, well, you guys are in the right spot because we're going to really dig into these and help you start to take action. So hopefully you've downloaded the handout. And Dawn, I forgot to ask you to grab that link. So if you could grab the link, that would be awesome. And just plug it there in the chat if you have not downloaded the handout yet. And if you don't have the handout, you can't print it, just grab a piece of paper, but really go get a piece of paper and a pen right now, because I want you to take notes, because you're going to take action on these things so that you can see the results become a reality in your life. All right, so the first thing that we've got to do is we've got to decide. You've got to decide today that enough is enough. You've got to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. And you've got to decide that today, in this moment, is going to be your turning point. And I know you've probably decided before. I know I had. I had decided so many times that I had lost count. But today's going to be different, and you're going to have to trust me on this, because I'm going to walk you through a process that you're going to decide today, but then you're going to have the tools to make it a reality. So who is deciding with me today that you are going to take control of your health? Tell me there in the chat. All right, so Ivy's decided. Decide today that you are worth investing in, that you are making yourself a priority. Because here's the reality that I've learned. No one can take care of me but me. There is no one in my life who's going to make sure I eat good food. Now, my husband might help hold me accountable to that or drive past something I'm really wanting to eat. But ultimately, it's up to me. It's up to me what goes in my mouth. No one's going to make sure that I'm going to the gym and exercising or getting in my steps each day or getting in my water that is so important. No one's going to ensure those things but me. It's different for my kids. I make sure they have healthy food. I make sure that they get adequate rest. I make sure that they're managing their stress well and they're grateful, and I manage those things. I control those things. But you know what? Nobody's going to do that for us. And so unless we step up to the plate and say we are worth it, we are worth making ourselves a priority, nobody else is going to. And so I hope today you are realizing that you have got to make yourself a priority. You have to put yourself at the top of the list. And it's not selfish. In fact, in order to fulfill all those other roles that you have in your life, you have to be at your best so that you can be at your best in those other things. And I will tell you, I have learned that I could have a successful business. I could have an awesome marriage. I could have great kids. But in the end, if I feel like crap, I can't really enjoy all of that. I can't really live into that. And I can't live at my full potential. And the same is true for you. Because I believe that God has a plan and a purpose for your life. And I believe that He tells us to treat our bodies like a temple because we've got a mission to do. And so tonight, as you decide that you are taking control, own that. Feel what it feels like to say, okay, enough is enough. Tonight is the night. All right, so the next step is we've got to define success. This is really important. We've got to have a picture of what we want our goal to be. And so we've got to set a goal. How do you really want your life to be different? Now, I know some people will say their goal is to exercise or their goal is to eat healthy. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the end result. Once you feel healthy, when you feel at your best, when all engines are firing and you are operating in your sweet spot, what does that look like? I want you to set a goal that is an end result that you can work toward. Things like eating healthy and exercise and water, that's probably going to be a part of it, but that's not the goal. That's not the end result. Because if we set the goal as eating healthy, I don't know about you, but I'm not sticking with that. Because eating healthy for the sake of eating healthy doesn't give me something to work toward. But to know that I'm adding years to my life by what I put in my body, or I'm taking years away, that makes a big difference for me. If it's whether I'm going to be able to play with my kids and watch them grow up, that makes a huge difference. And so we've got to get bigger in our thinking, because a lot of the reason we fall off the wagon and we never get back on is because it doesn't seem that important. It seems like the food is more important, or hanging out on the couch watching TV is more important. But we've got to have a bigger goal, a bigger thing that we're working toward. And I promise you, when you get this, it will change everything, because it will help you make the hard choices on those really hard days. It'll help you choose the best for you rather than giving into the temptation. It will change your perspective. And with this, you've got to create a visual, something that's going to motivate you to keep moving forward. And so I'll show you my visual. You're going to create your own. But, and with that too, is you've got to train yourself to visualize the goal before you actually attain it. And for a long time, this held me back because I had a goal, but I wasn't really seeing what it would look like. And we're not talking about visualization in a like new age kooky way. I'm talking about visualization in the fact that you can see that goal accomplished. So Carlene, for you to be off your meds and to be able to hike again, what's that going to be like? How are you going to visualize that? So maybe it's visualizing you taking Tyson on a hike and what it's going to feel like for you to hike with no pain and to be able to do it without feeling exhausted. We've got to get a visual in our mind before we can actually attain the goal. And for all of us, it's going to be different. It might be to get off meds. It might be to hit a certain weight goal. It might be to get on the floor and play with the grandkids. I don't know what it is for you, but you've got something in mind that you are going to work toward. And you've got to feel the emotion of that. Dawn just said, I have tears just thinking about Carlene. Yeah, you have got to feel what it's going to feel like to accomplish that goal. All right, so my visuals. The first one is a girl that I just found on Google. I have no idea who she is. If you know her, you can tell her she's on my vision board. But I found this, and I don't know why, but it was super motivating to me because she represent one, it said happy and healthy, and I loved that because who doesn't want to be happy and healthy? But also, I love, like, one, she's not like a teeny tiny person. She's like a normal person, but you can tell she's fit. And I love that. I love her arms. Yeah, I want like fit arms and how exciting that will be. So that's my first motivation. My second one is my family. Because I realize the choices I make today are going to have a lasting impact. I have 2 autoimmune disorders that can literally keep me in bed if I do not make healthy choices. I should be bound to bed. If you watch all the side effects that I should experience, but you know what? I am so determined to not live like that, to live at my best, that I make the healthy choices because I want to be a wife and I want to be a mom that my family enjoys, that they love to be around, that they're excited to spend time with. I don't want to be the mom who's stuck in bed and can't function. And so that keeps me motivated. That's a visual of where I want to be. And Carlene, one of mine is actually hiking as well as a family. And we're going on a hike next week, which I'm super excited about. But just realizing that we get to decide what we want it to be like. And you've got to feel the emotion of what it's going to be like to accomplish that goal. All right, you hanging with me here? Are you starting to think through what your visual could be? All right, awesome. All right, number 3, you've got to set yourself up for success from the very beginning. And I'm going to show you how to do this. So the first thing is you've got to transform your thoughts. This is going to be a hard one for some of you. You've got to squelch the lies, the old patterns, the old beliefs, and you have to claim your new truth. And so let me show you some of my lies and some of my new truths. So one, in the past, I would have said I'm a quitter. I would have said I've never successfully lost weight and kept it off. I've lost, but I've never kept it off. I will always be addicted to caffeine, sugar, and bread. I start off great, but then it all falls apart. I fall off the wagon and I can't get back on. I've been sick for 16 years. I don't like to exercise. I don't have time to exercise. I'm a failure. I can't do this. I'm just not disciplined. Those are old things I told myself. Now, I probably didn't say them out loud to anyone. But when I got honest with myself and I started thinking about those lies that were going through my head, those old patterns, this is what I came up with. Though I didn't say it out loud, I was thinking it. And if my daughter ever said these things, I would be so upset. And yet, we hang on to these thoughts. We have this mental dialogue going on. And yours are probably different than mine, but you still have them. And they're holding us back from our potential. And so I changed them this year. I changed them to my truth. These are some of my I am statements. Now, I say these every day, and I say them with confidence. Some of them are true already. Some of them are the truth I want them to be. So I'm speaking them over my life. I'm speaking them into existence. And then I'm taking the actions necessary to make them a reality. So I say I'm healthy and active. I am daily making choices to eat good, healthy food. I love to exercise and be active. I am a strong, fat-burning machine. I am getting adequate rest and waking up each day ready for a great day. I am successfully managing my time. I am intentionally living into my priorities and loving life. I'm passionate, driven, determined, optimistic, grateful, focused, and joyful. I am daily breathing life into others' hopes, goals, and dreams. Do you see what just happened there? When you shift to the truth that you want it to be, something changes. We stop the lies. So whenever it comes up that I've never successfully done this before, or I'm losing the weight, I'm almost to my goal, but I've never kept it off before. But you know what's different this time? Is I've got these I am statements. I'm staying motivated and focused. I'm not tempted by things that used to tempt me. I have the structure in place. I have the actions in place. There's no way I'm going to fail and fall off the wagon. It's just not going to happen because I've put the things in place to make it a reality. And you have to do the same thing. I would encourage you to read your I am statements every day. You could put them as a memo on your phone and listen to your voice reading them back. There's an app called Think Up. You could plug them into the app, but you have got to change your mental dialogue. And this is the number one way I know to help you be successful, to set yourself up for success now. All right, the next one. You got to schedule it. You've got to create non-negotiable appointments with yourself. This might be around exercise. It might be around meal planning. It might be around grocery shopping. It might be around meal prep. It could be around going to bed at a certain time and waking up at a certain time. It could be around me time activities that are going to recharge you. I don't know what you need, but I do know if you don't schedule it, it won't happen. You have got to create a non-negotiable appointment with yourself and stick to it. You've got to get accountability and support. And that is what I love about our iBloom Health division. It's an encouraging community of women who want to live their best life. And Dawn said, it's something about being in that group and knowing others have health goals, I have health goals. We're working together to make sure they're accomplished. And to see the success stories coming out of this over just having it for the last few months has been incredible as women have taken control of their health. It's providing that accountability and support. I'll tell you more about it in just a little bit. Step number 4, you must identify your one next step. Now hang with me here because this is super important. I told you at the beginning, I used to do this big overhaul. I would join Weight Watchers, I would start an exercise plan, I would track my water, I would do all this stuff for about a month, and then I would just fall apart, and I would never get back started. And I did this year after year after year. And really, to be honest, those choices have taken a major toll on my body. But if you identify one thing, I want you to think about one habit that you could implement over the next 30 days. Now, I will tell you, before, if I was going to implement one thing, I might make it around my eating. So I might say, okay, I'm not going to eat fast food for the next 30 days. Or I'm only going to eat real food for the next 30 days. Or I might say, I'm going to get 10,000 steps every day for the next 30 days. So I would do something around usually eating or exercise. But it still wouldn't quite work. And I really couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. Was I just undisciplined? Was I just lazy? Did I just have this inability to stick with something? But the reality is I knew it worked in other areas of my life. So where was the block? Well, the block is actually something internally happening in our body. And so let me introduce you to our microbiome. And I'm not a science person, but we're going to do a little science lesson here. Because I thought for a long time I was just not disciplined. But the reality is our microbiome or our gut health has a huge impact on our lives. It has a huge impact on our mood. It has a huge impact on our discipline levels and our motivation. So it may not be that you're just undisciplined, because what I learned, I wasn't just undisciplined. When I made the shift to make my first 30-day goal about my gut health and improving my gut health, it has made all the difference. Our diet controls so much of our gut health and our microbiome. And you'll see here, there's something called dysbiosis. 3 out of 5 Americans have it. I'm going to help you see, do you have it in just a moment. But causes of it: poor diet. Well, I had that flag. Yes, I was addicted to Chick-fil-A for many, many years. Excess sugar. I told you, I was addicted to sugar. Antibiotics. I was on antibiotics once a month for many, many years. Alcohol, stress, lack of sleep. So as you're looking at those things, any of those things kind of red flag to you, like, oh, wait a minute, I could possibly have this. Yeah, John said all of the above. All right, so let's look at this. How do you know if you have it? So these are some frequent symptoms: bloating, burping, gas after meals, digestive issues like heartburn or reflux, tiredness or fatigue, mental fog. Oh my goodness, I had mental fog. Food sensitivities, diarrhea, constipation, or you could have both. Immune challenges like autoimmune disorders, weight gain, or sometimes in some cases weight loss. Skin and nail concerns, poor mood like anxiety, depression, sinus congestion. Anybody have any of these things? Because when I read this list and I started studying the microbiome and gut health, I had a pretty big wake-up call. Yeah, most at one point, all of them, all but one. Yes, I was not alone, and neither are you. And so I discovered these products from Plexus that are all about gut health. And so when I made this transition, my first 30 days was to focus on my gut health, to use these products to begin to heal my body, to begin to have good gut health. And it's from that point that I was able to make the other shifts. And I've been telling my team over and over that I am so amazed at how motivated I am. And the more I'm studying about the microbiome and the gut health, it's not lack of discipline as to why you've not been able to stick with your health goals. There is something physically going on in your body. Did you know that 80 to 90% of our serotonin is produced in our gut? It's not our brain. And do you know that serotonin is linked to mood and how you feel? So if you don't have enough serotonin, you can feel depressed, you can feel anxious, and that is directly related to our gut health. And so this was a big wake-up call for me of just realizing the more I could focus on healing my gut, and I found that through the Plexus supplements, and that's why we've decided to incorporate that with our iBloom Health Challenge. Because without starting with the gut health, I see people start and stop over and over. But what happens is when you start focusing on healing your body first, and then you make the other changes, they're lasting changes. You have the willpower to make the healthy choices. And so to me, this was the starting point. And it was a huge piece of the puzzle that had been missing for so long. And so we've incorporated it into our iBloom Health. And so let me walk you through kind of what it does. We are to treat our gut like a garden. And so we've got to weed out or remove the bad stuff, the weeds that are kind of consuming our life. And for most of us, that's intestinal yeast, that's bad microbes. And Plexus has 2 products that are key for this. One is BioCleanse and one is ProBio 5. And these have been huge for me. If you follow me on social media, you see me talking about, for the first time since I was a little girl, I don't struggle with constipation anymore. And that's something we don't really talk about, but I struggled for years since I was a little girl. In fact, when I was pregnant with my daughter, Sophie, I was hospitalized 3 times because of constipation. I simply could not go to the bathroom. And it was horrific for months at some points. It was awful. And so for the first time ever, I don't have those issues. I have another friend who just started on the products, and she has struggled with diarrhea for years. And so after hearing my story about getting over constipation, she was a little concerned, but she sent me a message this morning and she said, okay, the diarrhea is gone. And it's because her body's starting to heal. And so we've got to weed out the bad stuff first. We've got to seed it with good stuff, good probiotics. I love the probiotic Vital Biome. It's clinically linked to mood. It's clinically linked to help you with depression and anxiety and stress management. Who doesn't need all of that? We have to feed it with good stuff. I love our Slim drink. Let me grab it. It comes in little packets like this, and you just drop it in your water, shake it up, and drink it. It's awesome. It's got prebiotics, but it also helps to balance our glucose levels or our blood sugar, so we have good, natural, sustained energy all day. And then we have to protect ourselves. Remember that multivitamin that I told you about at the beginning? X Factor Plus is huge for helping us to really begin to heal, to protect us from those outside pieces. So it may not be that you're not disciplined or that you can't stick with it or that you're a quitter. It may be there's something physically going on. And if you have those symptoms that we talked about before, I can tell you, you need these products. You need to focus on healing your gut first. All right, so our iBloom Health Challenge. We want to invite you to join us for the next 30 days as we just embark on going a little bit deeper, taking one new habit. So if you're brand new to this, it might mean that you get the Plexus supplements and you start taking them regularly. And that's all you're going to focus on for the first 30 days, that and getting adequate water. Those of you who've been doing the health challenges with us for a while, then you're probably ready to take the next step. Maybe the next step for you is to eat real food. Or maybe the next step is to get a certain number of steps a day or to add in strength training. I don't know what it is, but as you think about your goal, you're going to think about, okay, what is one next step that I need to take that's going to get me closer to my goal? It's going to get me closer to where I want to go. And that is going to be your focus for the next 30 days. And so with our iBloom Health Challenge, one of the things that we agreed to is that every day we're going to choose to take our supplements, to eat real food, to drink water, to move our body, to invest in ourselves, to celebrate God's blessings, and to get adequate rest. Again, we're not doing an overhaul here, so you might just choose one of these things at a time. But the idea is, after 6 months, after a year, that these things have become habits in your life. We're not going for the fad diets. We're not going for the things that, make us feel good for a moment, but then they're gone or they don't last or we can't stick with them. We're looking at what is going to create long-term health. And so those are kind of the core elements that we incorporate. And you get all kinds of awesome resources from an ideal day. I love using this. It tells me how to take my supplements, what time I should wake up, having hot lemon water to boost my metabolism. It just kind of gives you a starting point. If you're one of those people who wants it spelled out, which is me, then this is super helpful. And then there are other resources like a food journal template, a healthy habits food list. There's an online resource guide that has healthy recipes and other things, meal planning templates, a workout plan template. and a variety of resources to help you get a quick start. It includes our Facebook community where we have challenges and healthy living tips. Every day there's content going in there to help you work toward your goal. And I'm super excited. This next 30 days, we've made some awesome improvements to that, where we're going to do more live together of sharing different selfies and pictures and just really supporting and encouraging one another and knowing other people are going to be checking in with us, because we have this community where you're getting supported, you're getting accountability all throughout the 30-day challenge. And so you may be wondering, okay, how do I participate? And so your participation is you get your Plexus supplements. The group, the challenge itself is free, but you have to have the Plexus supplements because we believe those are the foundation. If you take those for the 30 days and you start to heal your gut, you're going to begin to make better choices. And the longer you take those supplements, the better you're going to start to feel. Now, they're plant-based, so they don't work immediately. Some people, they do. Other people, it takes a little while. It can take several weeks. It can take several months for you to start seeing the transformation. And so the investment, it's a $34.95 joining fee to sign up to become an ambassador. And then it's a $99 for your welcome kit. And that actually includes your products. It's a 30-day supply of the Slim Drink that I told you about, the ProBio 5, which is one of the probiotics, and BioCleanse. And if you're interested in getting the X Factor Plus or the Vital Biome, those would be an additional charge. But they were in the graph I showed you, and they're definitely products I take. But I recommend that everybody start with the triplex. You can add other pieces, and if you have a lot of inflammation, you probably do need to add some other pieces, and we can help you navigate that. But everybody needs to be on the triplex as the starting point. What you would do for your next step is you would go to ibloom.co/health, or you could go to the person who invited you to this webinar and you could reach out to them and say, hey, I'm ready to sign up. I want to do this 30-day challenge. I want to get the products. Or you can go to ibloom.co/health. Be sure to enter the name of the person who invited you. Or if it was through our iBloom email list or Facebook page, you can just say iBloom for that. Let's do some questions. I know some of you asked questions kind of throughout there. But let me do some common questions while you're plugging yours in. So one of the common questions that we get is, well, can I do the challenge without the Plexus products? And the answer is no, because I really believe the Plexus products are foundational. It's there that starts with the lasting change. And I've done other challenges. I've joined Weight Watchers more times than I could count. I've done Atkins. I've done them all. And this has been the first time that it's lasting change. And it's because it starts with the gut health. And so the products are foundational to that. So you have to have the products. That's key. Another commonly asked question is, okay, what if I don't have Facebook? Can I still participate? And the answer is yes. You just won't get to participate in the community aspect as much. But we can certainly tailor it toward that. Talitha, she said, same here. Yeah, she had tried other things before and it hadn't worked. Karen said, I saw there's coffee bean extract. I suffer from severe insomnia and worried about this ingredient. Can you address it? Yeah, Karen. So it's not coffee bean extract. In fact, lost my thing. Let me tell you exactly what it is. It is, because I've drawn a blank here. It's green coffee bean extract, and it's a natural caffeine. So it's not going to be like a caffeine from a coffee or, in fact, I've been able to go off of all caffeine and it's been amazing. And so one of the amazing things, Karen, is that it actually allows you to sleep better. You know, I think Charlotte's on here and she would tell you that she's sleeping better than she has in so many years. And it really helps to balance your glucose levels. And it's it's a natural caffeine. So it's a very, very different than like a typical coffee bean caffeine. I hope that makes sense. Let's see, what do you do to replace the caffeine? Lisa, I just slowly stopped taking it. In fact, the more I drank Slim, the drink, the more I just wanted water. In fact, I drank a drink of tea the other day, and I mean, I was a tea addict. Like, I loved iced tea, and it was kind of a repulsive taste. So I just no longer wanted it. Yeah, Carlene said it's 2% natural caffeine. So again, very, very different than a typical coffee. Awesome, Carlene. She said she went from 0 water. Carlene, I remember when we first met and you said, I don't drink water. And that was one of the first things that we worked on, was slowly increasing your water. And now you're up to 1 gallon a day, which is just incredible. Awesome. All right, any other questions? Yeah, Dawn said there is another supplement called Edge, and that helped as she was reducing her Mountain Dew so that she didn't get the headaches and things like that. So she did that. I didn't really notice a big change. And I mean, because it's natural lasting energy, you know, I went from being so exhausted in the afternoon, like literally I would finish my workday and like lay on my couch while my kids played. I was so exhausted. And now I have lasting energy until it's time to go to bed. And then as soon as my head hits the pillow, I pretty much go to sleep. And I'm not having that exhausted, tired, overwhelmed feeling anymore. And it's been incredible. Yeah, Dawn said no cravings at all. Awesome. Yeah, your body just doesn't want it anymore. Yeah, I totally agree. All right, any other questions? All right, so your next step, if you want to join us for the 30-day challenge, the link you're going to go to put in your official application, and then someone will follow up with you to get you officially signed up, is ibloom.co/health. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope that you've got some good takeaways to really start to take action and move forward with taking control of your health. I hope you have an awesome night. Bye-bye.